Welcome to Tailgate Talk. My name is Mike. I'm here with my partner in crime, Tommy from the MSR. What's going on, Tommy?
What is up? Christmas Eve, baby. One more
Yeah,
day, man. One more
yep.
day.
We got a good show going on tonight. We got Trevor from Sports Dynasty Podcast, who is a Patriots fan. You can also find him over on Tommy's channel on the MSR on their weekly AFC Shakedown. But we'll bring him on in a second. Just to get through, we'll run through the recaps of last week like we normally do. We'll talk a little bit about the Patriots-Colts game, and we'll get Trevor's update, and then we'll get into the previews and the injuries and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of what our show layout is for tonight. Any major updates you want to get to before we bring Trevor on?
Well, we'll get to it, but COVID is running wild, and it's not a good thing. So it's affecting a lot of teams, including ours. We touched base on this yesterday, man. Guys, stay your ass at home, man. That's it.
Yep. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring Trevor in. He's the backstage. Trevor, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good. We weren't out of the playoffs after our last loss to you guys, so that's a positive. You guys went ahead and dropped a game for us to the Colts, made it not be so bad. And sets up this primo matchup for basically for the division. If you guys win, it will almost clinch it for you because I guess there is still a way that the Dolphins can win out. If you guys lose your last two and they win out, then they can get it. But I don't see that happening. The winner of this game is going to take the division.
Yeah, I agree. Last Saturday. It was something like this. It's a very healthy Indianapolis team on both fronts. We got beat in the trenches badly. The same way you guys
know about that.
The same way you guys did when we played them. Especially when they're healthy on both fronts, it's dangerous. Especially how Carson Wentz only threw the ball 12 times. Literally.
Trevor, welcome to our nightmare when we play.
I know. Trust me.
Now I want to ask you: were you guys? Because I didn't watch it. Were you guys kind of ripping Buffalo Bills like we couldn't stop the run, or were you kind of understanding that the Colts are legit? They could do that when healthy against a lot of teams. Okay.
A lot of Patriot fans, of course, they were with the banter and everything. But me and Juan we were like, listen, in Indianapolis, when healthy, they are a Super Bowl contending team. They're that good on both sides of the ball, especially in the trenches. Look at Jonathan Taylor. You have an MVP caliber running back on your team who can do that. Who can do that at will. And now you have a healthy offensive line. Come on, that's scary. And then the way that the line's able to pressure the opposing quarterbacks is scary as well. It just all around a really well balanced team and healthy. So it's like, that's scary. But yeah, I mean, coming into that game, I knew that this is a game that we could possibly lose. Saying this is a very tough game. Indianapolis isn't a slouch, and they showed, especially on all phases of the ball. Special teams, the block punt was huge. It was really, really bad. Great play on their part. They literally had their way, especially in the first half. Matt Jones literally, that was a bad game on his part in the first half. But I like his poise in the second half. How he's able to come back from that because if you know the Colts, as good a team they are, can't really hold. They're really susceptible to blowing leads, especially they blew.
Yeah, it's that secondary. If they can't get up by more than 2 or 3 scores, they're in trouble because that secondary is problems. They have a fantastic front seven on the defense. But if you can get out to those corners and make their safeties have to, truly defend, and that was the issue when we played them in Buffalo. We just got so far behind so early. They could just pin their ears back and come after us. They didn't have to worry about anything. And, the weather was crap, so we couldn't throw the ball, and that became an issue.
Yeah, it's true. And it was just – and then the penalties, too. The penalties were just – this is probably the most undisciplined Belichick team we've had in years It's so many dumb penalties. Like, come on, like a lot of those penalties. Are, come on, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be. What are you doing, offensive lineman, being like yards down the field for what? Why are you down the field for? An eligible receiver? That's ridiculous right there. Come on, you know better than that. And then I think I knew, especially with the situation with Kyle Duggar, when Kyle Duggar got thrown out of the game when he had the incident, I knew as when he was reviewing, I said, yeah, they're gonna throw him out. There's no way. And for Kyle Duggar to do that, I was very disappointed because it's like, come on, man, you gotta be better than that, man. I know Belichick ripped him a new one for that one though, but yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
He's such an X factor for that defense back then too.
Is.
For his bet, because he didn't look all that good last year as a rookie. To see the jump that he made in year 2 is amazing. Listen, from a Bills fan standpoint, if you go and pull most of them, Kyle Duggar was one towards the top of our list. This is a guy that the Bills wanted badly, and you guys snagged him early in round 2, so we couldn't get him. But man, that guy,
very good, very good.
And he's so young. That's the thing. And because he comes from, that D2 school. So he's never played with this type of competition. He's never had that type of coaching. And then he goes to the greatest defensive mind ever and Bill Belichick. Like, that's just unfair to him, Listen, I hate the Patriots. Let's be perfectly honest. But, you gotta give the respect where it's earned.
Yeah. They definitely. For the most part, I do like the poise that Mac Jones showed in that second half. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that.
Good.
I really enjoyed the poise that Mac Jones had in that fourth quarter, especially even though he was down. They were down big, down 20-0. You like the poise he had, is saying, "Listen, I know we're down, but we're not out of it," and that was good to see, especially from a rookie quarterback who can only get better. Especially since that abysmal first half he had, the 2 picks. Wow, I'm like, what are you throwing to, man? And and there's Tommy said it in one of the previous episodes that hey man, it's going to be one of those games where he's going to have to throw the ball more than 3 times. Can he do it? And it gets a really good defense, man. Yeah, they're gonna make plays, and they're really well coached too. Frank Wright has done an amazing job with his Colts team. They've done an amazing job. Yeah. They're well coached. They just found the ways. Listen, they were the better team that day, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. So yeah, we gotta move forward for a big game this on Sunday.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Go ahead, Tommy. I'll let you.
No, I was gonna say I was watching. I think I was on that game was on a Saturday, right? Last Saturday. So I did my show, AFC East Shakedown, and I had people on, and I was like looking over at the game, and you guys got down quick. And I said, well, this is exactly what you do if you're an opposing team, right? You stop the run, and you make Mac Jones beat you, right? And I said, the way he's playing, because you guys got down quick, I think it was 17-0 at one point. Yeah. And I told the chat, I just, the way he's playing, I don't see it happening. Like they're not going to let Mac Jones beat him. I got to give Mac Jones credit for the second half, because normally a quarterback that had a rough first half would have fell flat. That would have been it. It would have gotten worse from there. That's typically how it happens with rookies, even a good rookie. But man, he showed poise. I got to give him that. But I still say, as a defense, I still want it in Mac Jones' hands. Like, when we play you guys, let Mac Jones beat us. If that's the case, then hey, all kudos to you guys. But we can't let the run beat us again, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel that you guys. That's how you guys play. And like I said, I give him credit because Belichick had no other option but to let Mac Jones pass at that point. And he was confident. I got to say, even in like when they do like a close-up shot of Mac Jones in that game, you can kind of see like he was smiling. Like, he didn't seem like a quarterback that was down or urgent or didn't know what to do, or you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't playing with any kind of like, he wasn't scared. He just took the role on. He was confident. that is impressive, I gotta say. But that's also him coming from Alabama. I gotta say, like Nick Saban put him in
Alabama, but he sat behind Jalen Hurts and Tua and all those guys to where, he ran scout team for those guys. So, when he finally got his 1 year chance, because he was a senior, and he went off and he tore it up and, got Devonta Smith the Heisman, and then he comes out, gets picked by Belichick, who honestly, he went to the best situation of all the quarterbacks.
Yes, he did.
Bill Belichick spent hundreds of millions of dollars in the offseason. He has a fantastic offensive line, so he doesn't have to worry about it. He has great tight end and Hunter Henry, and receivers who are good. There's the quality wide receivers. I don't think any of them you would say are like top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, but they are solid NFL receivers who make plays. At the end of the day, that guy landed in the perfect spot. And from my understanding, he's like super smart, and he has like some kind of like he can call back like a memory. One of those guys who's just who's just genius, can remember everything, and then he does goes out there, and that kind of looks like Tom Brady in his rookie year. That's who he looks like out there throwing. He throws those 5 to 10 yard balls, puts it in the perfect spot, lets the guys do the run after the catch, and then every once in a while he uncorks one, and then they run the ball over and over and over and over with those two beasts in the backfield. So more power to
you'll know more by year 3 of where Mac Jones is really headed. You know what I mean? Like right now he's in a perfect. That's what I'm. But that's the thing, Mike. Like with Mac Jones, I don't know. Like for instance, Josh Allen, we all knew was raw, but we all said this kid has a high ceiling, right? Everybody saw it, but he had stuff that needed to be worked on. Mac Jones, I don't know if I've heard that yet. Like, oh, this guy has a really high ceiling. I think what I feel like Mac Jones is going to be, it's a perfect system, a perfect place for him to be in. I don't know if Mac Jones would be the Mac Jones we're watching if he was in Jacksonville. I'm just saying, right? So it's a different system, different philosophy, different head coach, different coordinator, just totally different. That's one. 2, Tom Brady, like let's see by year 3 where it's at. Now, I get what you're saying. Like his shape. I get it.
He's the GOAT.
No, I know it. I get it.
Tom Brady's first year. They relied on his run game and defense, and then they randomly have him throw the ball.
I understand. I just don't. I got to see more. And that's with any quarterback. But as far as high ceiling, me personally, as of right now, I think this is what you get from Mac Jones. He may get a little better, but I don't know if he has a super high ceiling where you're going to be like, in year 3 or 4, you're going to be like, oh my God, like Mac Jones is throwing 60-yard bombs. Like, he's rolling out and doing all this crazy. Like, this is Mac Jones. He'll get a little better with accuracy, decisions maybe, but I think this is what you see is what you get from Mac Jones. Just a smart quarterback, not going to make too many mistakes. He's a good system quarterback, in my opinion. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't know. He's a rookie. We'll see by year 3. Yeah. Year 3 will tell a lot.
Yeah. No, I agree. You can't hate on it. The whole
no, I don't.
Having Cam back
absolutely
there,
don't.
Right?
I absolutely
right, Trevor?
don't.
It's better than having Cam.
Oh man,
better than having a lot of these rookie quarterbacks this year. Right? I mean, a lot of these rookie quarterbacks. Shit, you got it. I mean, curious, like, what if the guy for the Bears worked out for you guys? You think better than Mac Jones?
Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm just
dynamic,
curious. You know what I mean? Like,
but I don't know if the dynamic is what the Patriots offense is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that was Mac Jones was, I think, the perfect pick for Belichick this year. How, like I said, we'll see how it goes by year 3. Maybe Belichick goes, you know what? I need a more dynamic quarterback by year 3. You never know. I don't know. But as of right now, I think he's perfect for the system in place now.
Yep.
2-3 years from now, will it change? I don't know.
Yeah, and Chris Spencer comes in and says, Mac is a game manager that the past organization loves. And you know what? Game manager isn't a derogatory thing. That means it's the guy that they know will come in and won't lose the game for him. That's what you want. No.
Nothing wrong with that. Alex Smith was a game manager, kind of.
Yeah.
Towards the end of his career, it was just hey, we trust him. He's going to go in. He's not going to make too many mistakes. He's going to get us to the play. Like that. That was a perfect game kind of manager. Was Alex Smith. Nothing too exciting, but nothing too terrible. Flacco was a game manager for a long time, bro. Flacco won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl being a game manager.
Right. So
there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all.
Yeah, see, Chris comes in and says nothing wrong with it at all. I'll tell you right now, as a Bills fan, during that 17-year drought, I would have loved to have a game manager. Give me someone who just doesn't lose it for me. We didn't have any of those.
Well, you have to have a head coach.
Yeah, that's an issue too. Tommy, let's quickly get into the Bills Panthers game. Our predictions last week. We had you had a 27-10. I had a 31-13. I think it ended up 31-14. So
31-14.
Yep. Then for X Factors, you had Davis in group. Davis had 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. I had Knox and Oliver. So ultimately, I think you win on the X Factors. I win on the prediction.
There you go. Hey, we'll take it. It's you know what? The ultimate goal was to win, and we both were right on that, and I'm happy. But not a pretty game. Like I told you guys after the post game, you were on with me. It wasn't a beautiful game by any means. However, it was a good rebound game, if that makes any sense. Good rebound game for guys to get back on track, get a W, right? Stuff it in the win column, and move on. However, since then, there's been quite a bit of guys that's not going to play that came up big in that game, Gabe Davis being one of them, which really hurts. Cole Beasley, that really hurts. Offensive lineman, that really hurts. So, man, and it sucks because it has nothing to do with injury. Nothing. Yeah. We went out of that game.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the injuries, Tommy. We'll get there. A couple things I noted coming out of the Bills game. We got off to a slow start again in the first quarter. We got to get off to a faster start. I'll tell you, if you give the Patriots a quarter head start, we're going to be playing catch up, just like we did last time. We got to get off to a faster start. And I don't know why, when me and you have this conversation, we had it, last week, and then we had it on your channel. When we start talking about Daboll's in-game adjustments aren't good. So if he can't script and get us going quickly, we're in trouble. Right now, what they're doing is they're expecting Josh Allen to, manufacture things on breakdowns. And that's what gets us on a roll.
Yep. They're
breaking out of the pocket, backyard football.
Do everything opposite of what you did the first time around. Seriously, everything, whatever you did that game, just scratch it. I don't even want to see that playbook. Just put a big X on it and don't ever call that shit again. What I want to see against the Patriots, get a up-tempo offense to start the game. Let's go up tempo. Let's get Patriots backpedaling a little bit and then also let's get Devin Singletary involved a little early on. One thing about running backs, I got to tell you one thing. If they don't get going early, they'll never kind of get going. It's very tough for a running back just to get 7 carries and his first carries in the second quarter midway through. Running backs got to get some carries. I'm not saying give Devin Singletary 30 carries. But what I saw last week is exactly what me and Mike talked about, what we want to see. Anywhere from what I'd say, 13 to 17 carries I was cool with.
Yeah.
And he ran 22 times. I'm totally cool with that. Josh Allen threw for, I think, 34 times. That's a well-balanced thing. We still passed a little bit more than we ran, which is fine. But that's what will keep the Patriots defense honest. They're going to have to know that Devin Singletary is running. And by the way, we need to run to the outside. Between the tackles, that shit ain't working, Dable. It's not going to happen, okay? And then get Josh Allen out of the pocket more. That's what I want to see in this game. I don't want to see Allen standing in the middle of that pocket. He's going to get killed.
Yeah.
But just be more creative. Get Isaiah McKenzie. Now, listen, Isaiah McKenzie, he's going to be more involved, guys. He has to be because Cole's out. Get him more involved.
Okay, Tommy, save this for the preview. Save this for the preview. There is a question in the comment that comes into Trevor, though. It says, do you give more credit to your defense holding Wentz to 51 yards or Mac? They're curious from a Patriots fan side.
The defense for the most part, except for the run defense has always been our Achilles heel for the whole season. Especially like y'all guys know, if you can run on the Patriots defense, you could beat them. You could beat them. That's if you can run on them, you could beat them. So, we knew that we were gonna have our hands full with them. So the best thing to do was to try to slow down. We already knew was to slow down Taylor and then let Wentz throw the ball, which unfortunately didn't happen. Taylor ran all over us. I do to answer Jose's question. The defense for the most part did his job stopping Wentz, but I do like how Mac did poise himself to, put them in the position to put them in position to at least have a chance to win. Now I do have to say, I didn't agree with them kicking the field goal, so being down by 10 because we're still down by 2 scores. I think you go for a fourth down and you cut it into one, and you can try to cut it to one possession game. And then if you think about it, the next possession after they went for it they hit the field goal, we scored a touchdown. So instead of us being down, we could have been up. So I do think that was an opportunity there. But I do like how Mac did compose inside. Then, of course, when Jonathan Taylor ran for like 70 yards on that final possession before it was over, I'm like, yeah, that pretty much ended right there. But I do think, like I said, it's a little bit mixture of both. I'd like the defense, how they played. Wentz, not really much of a factor. But unfortunately, the run defense did get exposed, which we kind of figured would have happened. And we were very concerned about that too. But Mac did play well in that second half. So I think credit on both sides. So hopefully answer Jose's question.
Okay, and I think that answers it perfectly. Chris comes in with another question, but it's more, and we'll get to that question once we get into the preview, because he asked a question on what the game plan is going to be. So we'll get to that. Tommy, for the rest of the recap, a couple other things I noted. The defense was strong as normal. However, they gashed us a few times in that run game, man. We need to.
It seems like that's like, it's weird how we play lately. At least the last 6 games, we let like our first quarter struggles continue against the run, but we tighten up during the game. It's so odd because you would think like, oh my God, we're in it for this is how it's going to be today. Like these guys are going to run for 60, 40, 30, 20 yards at a time. But it's like we give up the one monster run and then we start to get to work. It's been really weird, but I'll tell you what, even with some of those games, except for the Colts game, we tighten up. I mean, the Patriots ran for 2 something, but they only averaged 3 point something yards a carry.
Well, they ran 42 times.
That's what I'm saying. So they had the one big run, but other than that, I felt like we did fine. Like everyone is looking at that like, oh my God, dude, that's not a lot. When all you did was run, you're going to get 2, 3. It was the 67-yard that killed us. Same with when we played Tampa, when the guy Fournette ran 65 yards. After that, we shut him down. There was no more Fournette. So it just seems like it's an ongoing thing in the first quarter. I don't get it. But let's hope they can. If they start good, it'll probably go that way. But I don't know what it is. Like you were saying last week, I think sometimes we over pursue, and then we I guess we look, maybe the defense gets going in the second. They're like, hey, we can't have that happen again, and they tighten up. But hey, I'm good with 14. If we can hold the Patriots to 14 again, guys, what else do you guys want? I'm good with that. Like I'm totally cool with that. So the defense, I think, will do their job like they did the last time. This is going to boil down to the offense, bro.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And the thing is, it's going to be, and we'll get to it and we'll get into it, but it's going to be strength versus strength. Where the Patriots defense is, their strength is their pass defense. Where the Bills' strength is their pass offense. So, and really, it's going to come down to the trenches. What does the Bills' offensive line look like? Because there is a chance we're going to see Bobby Hart this week. Judon versus Bobby Hart, we better have a tight end or Ryan Bates out there as the second tight end chipping and helping him out, because Judon will eat his lunch if we let that go one-on-one. So, but we'll get ready to get to that. Just quickly moving along. Special teams. Hack is a problem, man. Punting the ball.
I've been saying this all season long. Like, you telling me there's no kicker out there? I know it's too late now, but I mean,
we just signed one to our practice squad.
We have to address it. Do you remember back
this week?
I know, but they're not going to just all of a sudden. It's too dangerous now to change a punter, especially a guy that's been holding good. Let's give him that to Bass. But I remember back in the day, backup quarterbacks used to be the ones that would hold the ball. Like it wasn't punters, it was quarterbacks. I remember
Tony Romo ended that when he dropped it. Like after Tony Romo dropped the ball in that playoff game,
coaches were like,
you stop seeing quarterbacks be the guy that holds the ball.
No. Yeah, but he was a starting quarterback, wasn't he? What was he even doing out there?
Yeah, because that was the year that he took over the starter, like halfway through. So he was the backup originally.
God. Well, anyways, yeah. I mean, we gotta listen. Bean has to find a guy that can do both, punt and hold the damn ball. Like I'm sure there's punters out there, but right now, bro, it is what it is. But yeah, man, yikes. He's not very good at punting the football.
Right. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. So let's go ahead and we'll end it there, and we'll go ahead and switch over to the injury report. Let's talk a little bit about the injuries. You know, this is part of the show that we'll really get into this week's matchup. Injuries for the Bills. Starr is questionable with whatever's going on with him. We have on COVID we have Dawkins, Mongo, Feliciano, Cody Ford, Beasley, Davis. So we have like 5 key contributors on the offense on COVID. We elevated Hodgins and Bobby Hart. So we'll have the big boy and Hodgins out there. We get Manny Sanders back, which is a positive. But for the Patriots, this is where Belichick plays that stupid game with his injury report, so you never know exactly what's going to happen. But they've already ruled out Stevenson, their running back, Aguilar, and their safety Bledsoe. Those 3 guys are out. But then you have your center Andrews, who's battling a knee. You have Barmer, who's battling a hamstring. You have Harris, who's battling a hamstring. You have Henry, who's battling a concussion. And you have Phillips, who got hurt at the end of last week, too. And those are all, and I think there's even more guys, but I couldn't fit them all in here. But they're all limited and questionable. Of those guys, do you see any of them not playing?
Well, but obviously, Ramondre Stevenson is not playing, which is going to be a huge loss, especially how Damian Harris was trying to. He didn't play last week because of injury, so hopefully Damian Harris is able to come back and at least play a little bit alongside with J.J. Taylor. We probably may see J.J. Taylor a little bit more, and definitely more of
Brandon Bolden is also nicked up too, because he was on the injury report. I just couldn't fit him on here.
Yeah. Hopefully that, but I think they should be okay though. But running the football is definitely our strength, though. Definitely need to figure out how to go run the football. Definitely gonna see that, because that's gonna be definitely see how we go from there. But it's tough, especially a lot of injuries, especially with the injuries and then with the COVID protocols going on. Especially it kind of sucks that it won't be like fully 100% on both sides of the ball. So I kind of wanted to see a full strength Patriot team against a full strength Bills team. So we're gonna see what happens. Let's see what happens if they adjust. Hopefully, some of these people are able to play. But a lot of these people.
It's okay. They can take the week off. I won't mind.
Hey,
take the week off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Heal up for the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no. I tell you what, though, win or lose for either team, there's no excuse. Like one can't say to the other, "Well, we were missing this guy. This guy is like." Everyone seems like they're going to be, and that seems like I said, we were talking about around the whole NFL. Like right now, everybody seems to be out for COVID or out for some kind of injury. So this game here, man, to be honest with you, it sucks that our offensive line's out. It sucks that some of your better guys are out as well. But at the end of the day, man, next man up, and this is war. This is war. This is for the AFC East. Let's be real here, guys. So I don't want to hear no excuses. I'm not going to bring it. If we lose, we lose. If you guys lose, I expect the same. I'm sure some Patriot fans won't. I'm sure some won't. But you'll hear it from Bills Mafia too. I mean, I'm not saying it's just you guys. Like Bills Mafia will say Beasley was out, and if he was in, we would have,
you play with what you have. You play who's on your schedule, and stop all the excuses. You heard last game, a lot of Bills Mafia talking about, oh well, yeah, it was only because the win conditions. Well, guess what? Orchard Park has those. How about you build your team to be able to run the freaking ball? So Josh doesn't have to try to throw in 40-mile-an-hour winds, because we damn sure know Bill Belichick built his team to run the ball, and Mac threw the ball 3 times and they were able to get away.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to hear that. Yeah, don't give me the fucking outdoor environment excuse, especially when we're playing at home. It's like, this is what you wanted, right? Like Bills fans, like you've been saying, no dome. I don't want a dome. Fuck a dome. Come to Buffalo, play us in December, January, and then we play, and then you're like, well, it was 100 miles per. Okay, well, talk to Brandon Beane about that, and Sean McDermott. I don't know what to tell you, but that's no excuse. Like that's on personnel. Build a better team, and that's also, by the way, on Dable. But whatever, we'll get to Dable later.
Yeah. All right. So as we move into the actual preview part, this episode is sponsored by LinkedIn. These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidate for your business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people you want to talk to, faster and for free. LinkedIn Jobs helps find you the candidate that you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn.com? Post your jobs for free at LinkedIn.com/HTS #sports. That's LinkedIn.com HTS to post your jobs for free. Terms and conditions apply. And we thank LinkedIn for being a sponsor of Tailgate Talk.
Yeah, and Bobby Hart did that too.
Yeah. I think you said this on one of your shows recently. Well, maybe it was the halftime show. You said Brandon Beane should be hitting LinkedIn, and all the offensive linemen should be sending in their resumes on LinkedIn.
If I was an offensive lineman, I would be throwing my applications out there.
Oh God, it's bad. It's bad. It's so bad. So let's go ahead and get into this week's in this week's chat. I want to go up and find that question. Okay, so it came from Chris Spencer. It says, question for you, Trevor. Do you think the Patriots repeat the run game plan until the Bills prove they can stop it, or do you think they'll come in more balanced with the weather being better?
I'm going to go with the latter. I think they're going to have a more balanced offense coming in because surely I'm more than certain Leslie Frazier is going to find a way to say, listen, we can't let that happen again. As far as them running the ball 46 times and basically couldn't stop it. For the most part, they couldn't stop the run because that's what we did. But I have a feeling that they're not going to allow that to happen again. So especially with the weather going to be a little bit better, not being like blistering cold winds, rain everywhere. It's going to be a lot better than it was before. So we're going to have to throw the football a lot more now. We're going to have to, especially since all the injuries now and all the injuries. You're going to have to find something to get the win for this one. But I don't see them running the ball 46 times again. I don't see it.
What, on 3rd and 13? You don't think they're going to run a power play?
I swear to God, if McDaniels did that dumb shit, I'll be blowing the gas. If he did that garbage, oh no.
CJB33 comes in and says they're gonna need to put more than 14 points on the board to win this game. They'll need to pass it more. I agree. You kind of throw the last game out the window. Like the conditions made those game plans just weak. You know what I mean? You can't really suggest that Bill Belichick's gonna line up against the Bills and run 46 times in a game. That was conditions and game flow because the Bills couldn't score because they couldn't pass. There was a ball that Josh threw to where Diggs was wide open and he threw it on the hash and it went out of bounds. So it was more of the game flow was the reason why that happened. I don't see that. I don't see them coming in and just running it 46 times. I see them wanting to establish the run and then let Mac Jones run play action. because he is accurate. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way like most rookies do. I think ideally you get that run game going where you're getting 6, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4 over and over and over. Then run that play action as the Bills bring someone up. That's where I could see Mac Jones hurting the Bills. Isn't that if we can keep them anywhere at 3.5 yards a carry, I think we're going to be fine because I don't trust Mac Jones enough yet that he's going to be able to figure out the Bills' the defensive schemes in the secondary because they constantly are moving around and changing. Poyer and Hyde do that. Bill Belichick talks about it all the time. We in the second half of that Tampa Bay game, Brady scored 3 points because we just confused the hell out of him. He couldn't figure us out.
Right. By the way, that's how many times did you guys run in that game? How many runs?
The one on Saturday
against us in Buffalo.
Oh, in Buffalo, 46 times.
Okay. Eagles in 2019, same conditions, ran it 41 times. Same thing, buddy. Same thing. So, guys, don't get it twisted. This isn't like a special Belichick. This is what he does. He did that because of the conditions. And it was like, it was like deja vu, guys. Guess who the quarterback was? Carson Wentz, 170 yards. No difference. There was no difference almost. He threw 12 times. My point is, no, that they're not going to have the same game plan. They're not going to run 40-something times. This is they're going to, you know what they're going to do? It's going to be about the same kind of game plan against the Colts, about that same kind of mixture of run and pass. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to, definitely, Mac Jones, I can see him throwing anywhere from 20 to 23 times, somewhere around that range. And if I'm the Patriots, I'm comfortable with that. I can't see him throwing for 30-something. Though you never know, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be anywhere from that 20 to 23 range, and then they're going to mix in a lot of different running backs to kind of see which guy gets going. That's a Belichick thing anyways. Bolden's going to get in there. The other guy, you're going to have a receiver run it. Multiple. I think you'll have like 4 different guys run the ball at one point. I'm telling you. That's just the way he does. So, but no, it's not going to be a heavy run game like the last meeting. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I think the game's going to dictate what Belichick does, and Belichick and your offense coordinator do. What's his name? Your offense coordinator?
Offense coordinator is
Daniels.
Yeah, okay, Daniel. So, I think if the Bills are able to score and get going, I think he opens it up a little bit more. I think if it's a tight game, you're going to see that ground and pound to try to keep Josh on the sidelines.
Yeah, so, for sure. But this will be, Mike, I think this will be a defensive. This is all going to boil down to all offensive line, man. Because, listen, the Patriots just alone could beat us on defense. They could literally beat us on defense. Mm-hmm. Scoring points. If our offensive line, it cannot hold. Our backup offensive line can't hold. The defense can score points. The Patriots can. They'll get turnovers. Here's the other fact. They get a turnover, a sack, a fumble. Mac Jones, that offense going to be in beautiful field position. That's another thing. Field position is always huge. I can't see Mac Jones going from his own 10 passing all the way. Like, that's not how we work. Our defense is very toned. But if you get the ball at our 25 on a fumble, chances are pretty good.
We know the Patriots defense is nasty. Right. I believe they're number 1 in turnover differential.
Are they 1 now? I think it's the Colts still.
It's definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, because it was the Colts, Patriots, and Bills were all at the top. I don't know
we're not there anymore.
But we were there. No, because over the last 5 weeks we get like no turnovers.
I could be wrong. Yeah, so I'm saying I think we're 5 now. I don't think we're even in the top 3.
We're not in the top 3. Okay, we were in the last.
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. Don't quote me on that. But I know we're number 1 in defense though overall. Mm-hmm. I think we're still number 1 in defense overall.
Yeah, which I still don't understand that.
Because we had some games that we wipe people out, Mike.
Yeah. Okay.
When you do that, it happens.
Okay. Like, we're week 16, we're still the number 1 rated defense, and I'm like,
well,
have you watched us play in the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, but
we don't look like the number 1 defense.
We don't. But except for the Colts game, let's be real here. Yeah. How bad has it really been?
Well,
14 to the Patriots. I'm just saying, scratch the
Tampa Bay
and
jumped on us 24 in the first half.
True, but what did we do with the second half?
Yeah, game 3.
I'm just saying, like once we and then I thought we did a beautiful job against the Saints. We did a great job against them. We did a great job last week, right, against Carolina, which we should have. I thought we did a great job against the Patriots. 14 is nothing. Like the one bad game. Honest to God, we had one bad performance. The defense has done their job, Mike. You know that. It's the offense. Yeah. That's what scares the living hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. So the chat's talking about this, so I should bring it up. And I want to get Trevor's take on it. The Pro Bowl snub for Josh Allen. So the Pro Bowl quarterbacks are Herbert, Mahomes, and Lamar. What's your take on those three? And should Josh Allen gotten in over one of them?
First thing, I want to make it perfectly clear. I think the Pro Bowl is a joke. The Pro Bowl's been a joke for the last 15 years.
I agree.
Anyway, it's garbage. It's garbage. It hasn't meant anything for the last 20 years. So that's one thing I want to see right there. Secondly, the fact that Josh Allen didn't get picked is a joke. Come on, it's a joke. He's his second straight year with 30 touchdown passes. Come on, he's not in. I mean, and he's played every single game. Lamar Jackson, though, he did have a great first half of the season. This 3-game losing streak, I mean, granted, it's not all entirely his fault. The entire Ravens team is injured to all hell. But come on, like, you mean to tell me that Lamar Jackson had a better season than Josh Allen? That's ridiculous. But then I wouldn't hold too much stock into it anyway. The Pro Bowl is garbage. Do you even watch the Pro Bowl?
We had this talk last night on Uncensored. We went down a rabbit hole on the whole Pro Bowl. Like, I remember when the Pro Bowl had like the skills competition.
Right.
That was what
fun.
I enjoyed. That was fun. That's what they need to bring back.
Trevor's too young. Trevor's too young. You don't remember that. So we won't dive too deep into it, Trevor. But basically, what it was like NBA All-Star Weekend, right? For football. So it would be like Joe Montana Dan Marino versus Jim Kelly and some other quarterback, right? Bernie Kosar, and they'd have to run and throw footballs in between like these nets and like certain, they had the longest throw competition, just a bunch of different fun things where you could be like, oh, cool, that's my quarterback. Like that, I'm cool. I'm all down for that, right? Like you would want to see Mac Jones doing a skill competition. That's fun. Like for the players, we were saying that would be fun. As a fan, right? You would be like, damn, our kicker kicked 70-yard field goal on the skills competition. That's awesome. And the player, nobody wants to hit another player in a Pro Bowl when it's meaningless.
They don't hit. Anyways, like I said, the last time you saw a big hit in the Pro Bowl,
they don't want
Sean Taylor
Mike.
Killed Brian Mormon. Yeah, that's the last big hit in the Pro Bowl. Other than that,
I want it. Touch. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Scratch that part, do a skills thing, and I'm all good with that. But we'll leave it at that. But I will say to that, whoever mentioned the Josh Allen, that's crazy. And by the way, he's almost our leading rusher. Don't forget that as well.
Almost by far.
Right. And 3, Jordan Poyer. Let's be real here. Jordan Poyer got snubbed again, and he's one of the best safeties in the NFL.
Every year that guy gets snubbed.
It's crazy, bro.
I don't get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand that Bayard and Tennessee's really good safety.
Yeah.
I understand that the Charger safety is really good, James. But both of those guys have missed a ton of time this year. And then you have Poyer and Hyde, but you also have on the Patriots, you also have Duggar, who's one of the premier safeties, the young team. Because Simmons makes it every year for Denver. So it's like the same guys. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna pick that guy. There's the way it's done this year is like the whole Pro Bowl setup is stupid. I've said it on Twitter. I've said it now on my second show. I don't need to keep harping on it. I agree with you. It's dumb. Really where he should get upset is if he doesn't get all pro. All pro would mean more than all pro means more than a Pro Bowl.
I 100% agree.
Right.
Yeah.
That's more meaningful.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So okay, so let's quickly go into some of the previews. Keys to the game for the Bills for me. Start fast. We have to come out and start fast. We haven't been doing that. Don't let the Patriots get up and then be able to do ball control. Get them behind. Make Mac Jones have to throw to get back into it. Not saying he can't, but you need to make him throw more than 20 times. That's what you're looking for. Make Jack throw 20 plus times.
Exactly.
Special teams has to step up. If we have to punt, Hawk has to get it. He can't have those 16, 17, 20-yard kicks. He needs to get the 45s and 50s and 60s and flip the field position. Coaching, don't let Belichick outcoach you again. Don't let McDaniels outcoach you again. Make adjustments. It's okay. You don't have to wait until your next game against them to make adjustments. Mm-hmm. You can do it in game. And then lastly, it's going to come down to the trenches for me. And our offensive line is beat up. We know it's beat up. They have a game wrecker on the other side in Judon. Double team him. No matter where he goes, he needs to be double teamed every time. Take your chances with the other guys. Make the other guys beat you. Don't let him, like last game, he got a free rush and a free hit on Josh Allen. How the hell do you not block Matt Judon?
Because it's our offensive line.
The other guys, they have a lot. Their defensive line is legit. Don't get me wrong. Their defensive line is legit. They have really good linebackers. They have great safeties. Their defense is legit. But you do not let Matt Judon just a free rush. Double team that man. Don't let him be the game wrecker. So, Trevor, what are your key takes for this game?
Definitely the trenches. We do know since your offensive line is going to be very limited, so I expect especially Belichick to really go after Allen. They really exploit that. I think that we match up well, even at full strength. We match up better with our lines together. So I do think that they're going to try to penetrate through that and make Josh Allen uncomfortable, especially if he can't get there in time. Definitely the trenches will be the same. I'm very interested on how we are able to run the ball as far as who we're running the ball. We're not too sure who's going to be back there. We may see a little bit of J.J. Taylor. We may see a lot of Brandon Bolden if he comes back and stuff like that. Something. But other than that, I'm very, especially with Aguilar being gone, we got to figure out. Okay, fine. And Harry, even though Harry to me is is a better blocker than anything, but he did have that big catch in the game against Indianapolis. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did shit on him a lot over the years because I just don't think he's that a first round pick. Mm-hmm. But we got to find out how we're gonna be able to move the ball, especially with we're limited at receiver anyway. So my X factor definitely, now we're going to see, can Matt Jones throw more than 3 times against this Buffalo defense? That's going to be that's the question that everyone's asked will be answered on Sunday, and I'm being very interested. Also, I think our X factor may not be a player at all. I think the X factor will be Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels got to show us, hey, that he can still put something together despite a very limited offense. So I'm going with our X factor.
Okay. So in the Patriots Nation, are you guys concerned about McDaniel's offense? Like we are with Daboll? Like we're beating Daboll up bad in Bills Mafia.
Early in the season, especially last season and early on this season before the winning streak, yes, especially me and Juan especially, me especially, I've been saying this for years that he should have been gone for years. I didn't want McDaniels for the last 2 years because I feel like his play calling is very predictable, and he coaches scared time to time. Especially, I think it was early in the season against Tampa Bay, where I was completely livid with the play calling. I felt that they played scared against Tampa Bay. I do think that I do believe that we would have beaten them had they played more aggressive. I mean, not like aggressive like Brandon Staley and the Chargers did last week. That was ridiculous. But I do like how they're a little bit more aggressive on 4th down now, a little bit more aggressive, especially with the 4th down yard and stuff like that. I'm happy with that. But before early in the season, it was you go for it, do something. Like don't punt the ball on 4th and inches. That's ridiculous. Like what are you doing? So that's one thing that bothered me, especially early on. But it's got a little bit better. But in the game against Indianapolis last week, I was like, he's doing the shit again. He's doing it again. But it's still, like I said, he's still a decent offensive coordinator. His record speaks for itself. But as not a lot of Patriot fans really mess with him like that. Honestly, we really don't.
All right. Oh, that's good to know. So do you think that those decisions on if they go for it, is that a McDaniels call, or do you think that's a Belichick call?
I think it's either. To me, it's either one or the other. So usually when that happens, I blame both of them.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Except most of the time we blame McDermott, and because he's always been very cautious. I'm like, sack up, dude. It's fourth and inches. You have a 6'5" or 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. Run that power.
That's why I wasn't mad. That's why I wasn't mad on the Titans game.
Yeah,
I sucked on the result.
He said after the Titans game, he said he would do it again.
I agree with the call. We spoke about this in one of the other shows. Like, I didn't hate the call at all. I'm like, I would go.
No, the execution was just it was badly. I think Josh messed up on the way
Deion got blown up,
and Deion got blown up too. So it was a lot of bad because we could have won that game. Like that game was a winnable. I was so confident when we were driving. I was like, oh, we're gonna win. Like before we even got to that fourth down, I'm like, here we go. This is it. This is what we're gonna do. Josh is gonna lead us to a win, and it is what it is. But yeah, bro, Sean McDermott. I don't think it's so much Dable with our fourth down. I think it's McDermott, and McDermott is he'll go for it on fourth down on like a stupid fourth down, and then not go for it on a 4th and 1 when we need it. Like it's just he's really weird like that, or a fake punt fourth down. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then you don't go for it on 4th and 1. Like it just doesn't make any sense. But that's the way he's been coaching, man. That's Sean McDermott. He's I don't know what to think sometimes with him.
And Jose comes in and asks, "Where's Juan?" Juan is sick, so he could not make it tonight. But we will bring Trevor and Juan back. Yeah, we're gonna hop over onto their show tomorrow night. So look out for Tommy out on Twitter. He'll be posting when it is and where it's at. And Tommy will give you the updates. But yeah, we're gonna go over to their house tomorrow and have the same discussions. But we'll also bring them back, this offseason as well as we start getting through it to get their takes from a Patriots side, what they're doing. So we'll continue the collaboration throughout the offseason as well. So you'll see more of Trevor, and then you'll see Juan when he's feeling better. So okay, so I have another question that comes in and says, with Beasley out, I love the fact that we use McKenzie. It adds speed to our offense. So with the weapons that are out, Trevor, with us bringing in more, because Sanders is back, Diggs is there. Then we're going to have McKenzie. And then we just called up Isaiah Hodgins, who's like 6'5", a big guy with good hands.
First appearance in the NFL. If he gets on the field, we've done this before, by the way, where a guy hasn't even taken the field. So doesn't mean anything quite yet. Just saying. Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there to Bills Mafia. Just because he's gonna be there doesn't mean he'll be on the field. We'll see. I honestly, it'd be cool to see him, but in a way too, I don't know, because it's his first. He's never stepped foot on a regular season game. Never. I don't even recall much in preseason. So if he played, did he even play a preseason game? I don't even think he played a preseason.
Yeah, he played in preseason.
Did he? I don't remember. I don't see how long ago. Like that's distant memory of this guy. So my point is, big game. Well, with Sean, it's also a trust factor. How well does he know the offense? Right. That's a big thing.
I wasn't saying.
No, I'm just saying. Well, but he could be. I'm just saying for Bills Mafia. Yeah. Just saying, like, don't expect him to be out there. Yeah. He may be active. Yeah.
My question for Trevor was, with knowing that we're going to be limited with McKenzie, who's your slot? And does he match up well with that quick, shifty McKenzie type of route runner? Because McKenzie and Beasley are different in how they go. Mm-hmm. Beasley will beat him with sudden quickness and moves off the line, to where McKenzie's sudden quickness and fast off the line. So who's your nickel, and do you think that's a good matchup for you guys?
You might see Jonathan Jones or Jawan Williams playing that position. I'm not too sure 100%. Honestly, it's again, we if he comes on, we probably won't. I'm not gonna know. I think we'll have to it probably be go by a play-by-play basis, honestly.
Okay.
To see we get from there though. But especially if this guy comes in and is like, okay, never played in the NFL before, so it's like we don't know what we're getting, so we don't know how much of a factor he's really gonna be. So I think it may be on a play-by-play basis, and then we'll see probably make the adjustments as the game goes on, more likely.
I'd much prefer Emmanuel Sanders in the slot. I know they're not going to do it, Mikey. We talked about this yesterday, but I think
we would have if Davis was there, but now that Davis is out, I think they're going to move Manny Sanders back outside because J.C. Jackson's going to be locked up.
Change the game.
We already know that matchup. It's going to be Jackson versus Diggs, and then Mills will probably be matched up against Emmanuel Sanders, and that leaves the rest of them to be able to bracket the slot guy, whether that's McKenzie, whether that's Stevenson, whether who knows? Maybe they're going to throw Jake Kumerow out there and move Manny Sanders into the slot. Who knows? Kumerow's a big dude and he's fast.
Kumerow, and he knows the offense now. He's been here, let's say 1.5 seasons, kind of.
Yeah.
Right. Fairly, like I say, or maybe one whole season if you count the games. But that's very possible too. But if they could figure that out, I would prefer Emmanuel as the slot and McKenzie as more as the jet sweep guy, the over the top guy on some, if we're going to do a 5 receiver set. But I'll tell you what, we were talking about it 2 weeks ago, and I said it probably won't happen. Marquez Stevenson, as far as over the top speed, remember, because I was saying we don't really have that guy playing. Well. This may be the game where it's very possible you see a Marquez Stevenson sighting on offense because we're so limited with Cole Beasley out now, with Gabe Davis out. I'm just saying it very could be. I'm not saying like you'll see him a lot of the game, but it's very possible you see him on 1 or 2 plays as just being out there.
Shot plays. Maybe they call shot plays to him.
Yep.
Because your safeties, you have Duggar and then you have McCourty, right? You have the McCourty safety. So McCourty usually plays over the top with Duggar's more of the box, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that. I could see them running against Mills. Like you won't if he's locked up with J.C. Jackson. I don't see that happening because I see J.C. Jackson matching up with Diggs. But I could see if they had Mills on him trying to run a shot play. I just have a feeling they're going to leave Jackson on an island with Diggs unless Diggs makes them not. And they're going to try to roll coverage over to the other guys to help out. Because let's be honest, Jackson's is like a top 5 corner in this league. The dude's become a stud. You guys were able to get rid of Stephon Gilmore because you had J.C. Jackson.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So and I know Jackson just came out and said he wants to be on an island with Diggs. Okay, so 2020 that didn't work out for him. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, it did work out for him with the way the weather was. So we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
The
thing is, Diggs is an excellent route runner, bro.
Yes,
he's probably one of the best in the game at that. I know J.C. Jackson's pretty good, but on a good weather day, Diggs would take him. I'm telling you right now. I like Jackson, but Diggs is.
It's gonna be a good battle.
Yeah, but Diggs is a beast when it comes to that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, how I see this game going early on is a lot of blitzes by the Patriots, and I think that's where Dable is going to play a factor in this game because Dable's going to need to figure out the blitz.
Screens. He's going to need to run some screens.
Run screens.
They're going to bring a house like that.
Right. Get your tight end. Get your tight end involved on just like we did last week when Dawson Knox did a stunt where he's going to block and then go out. Plays like that. It was a 7. What was it? 8. It was like a 10-yard pass, 8-yard, and went for like 25, 30. So my point is, I think the Patriots are going to come out fast against us on defense. They're going to bring the blitz, and if Dable adjust to that, then the game plan will totally change for the Patriots side of things. I can't see him blitz anymore because I will say this: go back to last week's game against the when we went against the Panthers. The Panthers were bringing the heat in the first quarter. We had no answer. When we changed our game plan and started to use Singletary more, started to adjust our play calling as far as even passes go, the Panthers defense settled back. They had no choice. That's what we're going to have to do against you guys. If we don't, we're going to be in for a long day.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you're in for a long day when we're fully healthy on the O line.
Oh, yeah, so 100%
on the other side.
100%.
100%. Judon changes the way the Patriots defense looks because he's such a game wrecker. Like he was with the Ravens, and then he went to an even smarter defensive coach who knows how to use them even better.
Definitely a sign of us.
It kind of reminds me of Seymour back in the day. That game wrecker from the DN spot. So we'll see how that plays out. It'll be interesting. Sunday, we're a couple days away to find see who really gets to take it home.
Definitely.
All right, so we just hit the hour mark, so I don't want to keep everyone too long. So let's get into predictions. We'll start with Trevor. You give me your prediction of the game.
Oh, this is tough for me.
Come back to me. I really have to think about it. I really got to think about it a lot.
Tell me, what do you got for prediction?
Man, because of so much that happened this week, guys. I had a score in mind before everything happened. So I'm going to say 26-17 Buffalo wins. 26-17.
Okay. And I had it 24-17, so we were right around the same thing.
Okay.
And I took into account the O-line issues. And I think if we can get to 24, we have a chance to win this thing. So Trevor, what do you got?
I'm gonna go 22-19 Buffalo.
Oh, that's an odd score. Okay.
What did I tell you guys, Bills Mafia, about my man here? These guys, they're not like your typical homer. These guys are not because he just said that score, just the fact that I like that about you guys, man. You went 1-2, guys. If you guys never seen these guys, they keep it real, man. That's why I love having them on my show as well. And man, I respect the hell out of you for that because a lot of Patriot fans, if they were in here, would be killing you. Because, trust me, if me and Mikey came out and said that, I'm just saying, like, Buffalo's gonna lose. Let's see, 20. I'm telling you, I'd be hearing it. So, hey, props to you, man.
He said they're going to win. He did say they're going to win.
No, he didn't.
Right?
Did
you had 22-19 Bills?
Did you?
Or 20?
Yeah,
22-19 Bills, yeah.
I told you.
Okay.
Mike
okay. I thought, I'm like, oh, that's a good score.
That takes balls.
I can see that.
Oh, man, good shit.
All right, so let's get over to X Factors. Tommy, we'll start with you. Offensive, defensive X Factor of the game.
All right. Offense, X Factor. I'm going to throw it out here. Devin Singletary, man. I think he is going to play. He's a big part of this. And if they don't use him, we're screwed. No matter yardage-wise. I'm just saying they have to use him. So Devin Singletary is my X Factor on offense. Defense, Ed Oliver.
Who'd you say?
Ed Oliver.
Oliver?
Big Ed. Yep.
I can see Oliver being a big X factor if Andrews isn't playing. But I have a feeling he's going to play because everyone who's on the questionable always plays. Stupid ass Bill Belichick and his crazy ass injury, his injury reports. I hate that. All right, Trevor, who do you got for your offensive defense of X factors?
My offensive X factor, I'm sorry, just trying to fix something and just smoke in the kitchen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Matt Jones as Matt Jones is the offensive Hold on a second. I'm so sorry. There's something going on in my kitchen. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hey, it's Christmas Eve, man.
Yeah,
it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Matt Jones offensively, defensively, Matt Judon definitely.
Judon.
Hey, those aren't.
I'll be honest. That's the one guy on your defense that really scares me is Judon. And I'm gonna go with Knox. I think he's gonna have to be key, and then defense. Yeah. I think it's gonna be Addison. I think Addison's gonna have to step up.
For everyone knocking Addison, he's still up our league, our team leader.
He's our team leader in sacks. He's our most consistent edge rusher.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. So
yeah,
that's why we kept him. So everyone that wanted to know why we kept Mario Addison, here you go,
because
buddy.
We had a Jerry Hughes sighting for the first time since like week 2 last week.
I'm still a Jerry. I don't know why. I love Jerry Hughes, man. I know a lot of people knock him, but I think I get that
he's been invisible.
I get it, but I still think he's a workhorse. He has a high motor for his age. He's never been a problem. Like, he's been a Buffalo guy. You know what I mean? Like, I just like him as a Buffalo Bill player. I guess I'm just a fan of Jerry Hughes in general. You know, I get that he hasn't been, you know,
as productive
what he was, you know, but you guys got to factor in he's aging. You know, he's been here, but he's still a tough dude. He still brings it. He still brings energy. He's never been a game where I'm like, hey, Jerry Hughes isn't trying. Like, the dude tries. He's just not what he was.
Yep. So before I get us out of here, Trevor, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts. We're available on any podcast. I'm sorry, my dog's acting crazy right now.
No, he's excited. He's excited. He's excited for Sports Dynasty, man.
Now, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, any podcast platform. You can find me right there as well. We'll also find us on with Tommy on Saturday nights on the AFC Showdown, so you can check us there too.
Except for this Saturday, we're going on the Sports Dynasty podcast, people. So just a heads up. I'm gonna text it out. Yeah, I'm gonna text all my people. I'm gonna tweet it out on Twitter, and then on my YouTube guys, I'll also hit a message and I'll put their link in the YouTube chat, so you guys can go to their channel and hit a reminder or whatever. But it's gonna be either 7:00 or 7:30 on Sports Dynasty tomorrow. It's gonna be a really good show. I want you guys to go there too, because it's gonna be a Patriot fans in the chat room. It's going to be Bills Mafia. I want to kind of see the interaction. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping Juan shows up, because Juan brings it too, just like Trevor. Mikey's going to be there. Captain D, Miami Dolphins, you know, my buddy, he's going to be there. It's going to be an epic Christmas show, guys. I know it's Christmas. I know. But if you guys have the time, get away from, you know, the fam real quick, sneak on to YouTube. It'd be a good watch for you guys, man. It's going to be a good show.
Okay. And Tommy, what do you got going on for the rest of this week outside of our show tomorrow night?
Yeah, so guys, that's Saturday. I'll be on with Mike. Like I said, I just did my whole spiel. I'll be on there tomorrow. And then post game, I'll be on post game. If Mikey's down, Mike will join me after the Patriots game around 4:30. I usually do it around 4:25, 4:30. So I'll be on. Other than that, Thursday night uncensored, same thing. But that's it. Mafia Sports Report, YouTube.
Yep. You find me on Twitter at Apex006. And I may be on. I'm guessing it's going to have a lot to do with how the outcome is and how mad I am, and if I've been drinking or not. Because if it's a game like we saw on Monday night, it's going to mess with my nerves, you know. So other than that, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We know it's Christmas Eve. We appreciate you guys coming in, throwing in questions for Trevor on the Pats. Trevor, we appreciate you jumping on with us tonight, bud. Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful holiday. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. We want to thank our sponsors, LinkedIn. They do a wonderful job, and then Mr. Rogers Homes, who has been with us all year long. And we want to thank M25 Farms, who is our charity this year. And here's a word from Mr. Rogers.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!